Hello, YouTube. Salivate metal on this somber Sunday. Words cannot express the horror that we all feel after this outrageous atrocity that occurred in Paris. And the DailyMail.com has really been a great resource for not only these kind of stories, but a lot of news stories. And they are very detailed with pictures and a lot of descriptive, in a very descriptive nature. And what I'm showing you here, the reason why I'm showing this very briefly, um, sort of piggybacking on what Seattle has already posted about this, is that sometimes the reality of this situation is only comes close to home when you can see the horror that's going on, that the Islamic State is perpetrating upon many people. And and I think that, yes, sometimes raw emotion and people act out of raw emotion is is knee jerk in some cases, which is part of the reason why I've waited to post a video about this. The biggest bloodshed occurred at a concert for a band called Eagles of Death Metal. And but make no mistake, they are not death metal by any chance, and they're not even metal for all that. It's just a name that they chose, and they've been around for quite a while, over 10 years at least, and I've had a hit or two on rock radio and the like. But luckily, the band is okay. But and it's very unfortunate that so many died just trying to have a good time and enjoy some music. And but essentially, the purpose for this video is to not only express heartfelt sorrow and prayers out to the people of Paris. They did not deserve this. It is horrible, and it is undefensible what has happened here. And but the more important thing that I think that has plagued some, and even in the sober community, is we need to call evil what it is. And there is no cause for this other than Islamic extremism. And that is the bottom line. That is what's caused it. And it's not only a bastardization and extremism of what most people in the religion of Islam are, peaceful people. The extremists in this religion in particular are a huge, huge problem. And and we are seeing here in the headline for CNN that the bombers posed as a refugee. And the other problem with people not calling evil for what it is and being afraid to offend Muslims by not calling out Islamic extremism for what it and is that these European nations are taking in these refugees. And a lot of these refugees that they are taking in, if you look, just use your common sense. They are coming in as males between the ages of 18 and 35 coming across the border, the majority of them. If you've look on YouTube or look anywhere else, you'll see the videos of them marching, literally like marching, and they're posing as refugees. Well, you know, no one wants to offend, or no, everybody wants to help refugees, but you've got to use common sense. And we have these open borders in these nations, and yes, there were no-go zones in these European countries, and these are not zones that have been outlined or noted as the government as officially no-go zones, but the police and everyone else have been afraid to go to these places, so they're called no-go zones, and they need to be monitored and they need to be stopped so that these people stop, or can be hampered from these terrorist attacks upon good people. And the other thing about it is this attack that occurred, as bad as it is, has made these massive headlines in the last 3 days here since the attacks on Friday. It is covering it as a news story all throughout. Where, what should have happened is the news should have been just as big when Christian children were being crucified in Syria. and in Iraq, and Christians are all but wiped out of that region altogether. That should have been a big headline when that occurred. So what we're seeing now is I believe as a result of somewhat either appeasement or not taking seriously as much as they could Islamic extremism and the war on terror in general. And it needs to be stepped up, and there needs to be a massive war against Islamic State and Islamic extremism, whether it comes from the Sunni side or the Shia side. So, with that being said, post your thoughts below. Islamic extremism is real, and it is not associated with anything else other than what it is.